are Locked On Lakers POSTCAST, part of Locked On Sports Los Angeles, on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey everyone, I'm Dave Palais. After a disappointing loss to the Orlando Magic, the Lakers look to come out and make a statement against the Denver Nuggets. And guess what? The Lakers did just the opposite of that. Things went from bad to worse to the Lakers. Who's at fault? And are we seeing the best from Anthony Davis? Again, we'll talk in Laker basketball postcast. It's Locked On Lakers, Locked On Los Angeles. We're talking Lakers with you the entire season. We'll start off with Saturday night in a very disappointing game as the Lakers again fall to the Denver Nuggets 127-102. All right, how you doing, everybody? Again, I'm Dave Palais. If you aren't aware of as far as Laker basketball and how passionate people are, I'm here to discuss it with you. Really excited about it. I've been in media in Los Angeles, in the Southern California area, and in San Diego for more than 30 years. But my highlight of my broadcasting career came covering the Lakers in the early 90s. When I had a chance to start covering the Lakers, it was guys like Nick Van Exel and even Cedric Sabalas was on the team, Eddie Jones, George Lynch, all those guys. My favorite player of all time when I was a kid, Magic Johnson. But again, being a Los Angeles native and someone who became a credentialed member of Los Angeles Laker media, it's been a highlight covering this team. And for me, my passion for Laker basketball has never wavered. That's why days like tonight, of course, are extremely disappointing. You, of course, can follow me on all social media platforms. My name's right there in the corner of the screen. It's Dave Palais. Looks like palette, but it's pronounced Palais. And I'm looking forward to talking Laker basketball with you the entire year. Right now, when you look at what the Lakers did tonight, it was disappointing because what happened was they had a disappointing loss to the Magic in a game that was strictly in hand. And there are too many games right now they're getting away from the Lakers. And I think Laker fans feel that way. These are games that would not have happened under coaches like Pat Riley and Phil Jackson. And we're going to get into J.J. Redick and what you think of him. But right now, I know it's early in the season, but at the same time, it has to be disappointing for you, just like it is for me, that the Lakers are losing games that they shouldn't be losing. And right now, the team has about 3 of those losses on the season. We're only in mid-November, towards the end, I guess. And at the same time, to have these losses continue to mount up under a new head coach, you'd expect things to be a little bit different. At the same time, how much are we going to rely on LeBron James? LeBron James is going to be 40 years old next month. The guy's been absolutely outstanding. Some will say he's the greatest player of all time. I think we might have seen the greatest player in the history of the league on the court tonight. We'll get into that a little bit later in the show as well. But I'll tell you, I'm going to point the finger at one person right now, and it's going to be Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis, who should be up for any game when he's going against the Joker, had a disappointing effort. And he was called out by many people who are Laker fans during the game on social media and even after the game. When you're listening to guys like James Worthy who are talking about him and saying, you can tell when he's ready to give his best effort. And tonight wasn't one of those nights. So when you look at Laker basketball and you say, where's this team going? And are they going to get any better? And are they going to make a run? Are they going to finally catch the Boston Celtics? The Celtics have 18 championships. The Lakers now have 17. If you're like me, you're thinking, hey, we have 17. Guess what? We're finally going to have a chance to pass the Celtics and have more championships than they have. If you're like me as well, you understand how important that is, how much you hate the Celtics, how much I hate the Celtics. I always say my one dream before I pass away is going to be the Lakers have more championships than the Celtics. Celtics gained one more on the Lakers just last year. And if you talk to Celtics fans, they'll tell you they're going to win another one this year. For me, that is extremely frustrating. For you, that has to be extremely frustrating. So right now, when you look at what the Lakers are doing, how can they fix it? And where are you pointing fingers and what direction are they possibly going? To me, it all comes down to Rob Pelinka. And is he going to make trades like he promised when he said, hey, I'll give it till December before I figure out if this roster is the one that's capable of winning a championship, or he's going to stand pat? Is he going to be one of those guys that does something minor come February? That's too late. Right now, this team needs to show that this team's ready to compete right now and show not only they're one of the best teams in the West, they're one of the best teams in the NBA. And I think a week ago at this time, a lot of us felt, hey, this is possibly a championship team. They have shown us now over the last 2 games, this is not a championship team. The Magic are in the East. They're well below average team. We have Hall of Famers on our team. Yeah, at the same time, you look at guys who are all NBA. We have all NBA guys on this team. The Magic not at full strength, yet the Lakers can't sit there and knock out a win at home against the Orlando Magic. Very, very disappointing. They come out again against the Nuggets, a team that has owned them in the postseason. If one team has dominated the Lakers, it's been the Denver Nuggets the last few years. So you think, if anything, man, we have a really bad taste in our mouths, and you can point the finger at missed free throws, which to me is the easiest thing to look at a box score and say, whose fault is it that we lost this game? What could we control that we possibly did wrong to lose that game? Was it turnovers? Was it missed free throws? I mean, they're called free for a reason. Yet Anthony Davis can't knock him down when it matters. LeBron James couldn't knock him down when it mattered. Very, very frustrating. So you go, where are the highlights as far as what's going on with this organization? You still have two big stars. I don't want to come out and make it sound like I'm just taking shots at Anthony Davis. That's not what the goal is. The goal is to say, what can this team do better to make Anthony Davis that much better of a player? And at the same time, what can LeBron James do to have players around him to make him be on days where he's not maybe, let's say 100% as a 40-year-old man, where he could be more of a facilitator, or you give him minutes. You give him days where, he's playing the game, but yet he's a facilitator and doesn't have to do so much running and have to take over a game, because it seems like every single game at some point he has to take over. And again, it gets old. It gets old, I'm sure, for LeBron James, and it gets old for Laker fans. For you, your time. For me, my time. For the gear we buy. For our heart and soul that we put into this team. All these jerseys behind me, they weren't given to me. Guess what? I was a diehard Laker fan, so I'm one of those guys that forked it out. Wearing a Laker hoodie, wearing a Laker hat. You're probably like me. You've bought a ton of Laker gear and you put a lot of time into it. You expect more from this franchise in Los Angeles than almost any other. The Dodgers have done a great job, and they're trying to get your attention and get your entertainment dollar. But how many of you have said, man, I'd love to go to more Laker games, but the price is up here? So you go, what am I paying for? Is it worth my time? Is it worth my effort to say I'm putting as much into them as Jeannie Buss has given back to me, as Rob Pelinka has given back to me, as JJ Redick has given back to me? And you sit there right now today after a disappointing loss like this to the Denver Nuggets, and you're a little bit disappointed. And you're saying, I expect more from this franchise. This is the jewel of the NBA, and everybody knows it. Laker basketball is what everybody follows, not only in Los Angeles, but when you see this team go on the road, you look in the crowd and you see how many of those Laker jerseys, they're all over the place, whether they're Magic Johnson ones or Kobe Bryant, like the one over my shoulder, and LeBron James all over the place. Laker basketball is a whole nother level. David Stern once said, the perfect NBA finals would be the Lakers against the Lakers, because people are watching. Not only because of the moniker of Showtime, but at the same time, there's something about the stars. When you look at the all-time leading scorers and what this franchise has done, it is filled with Lakers. When you look at the history and the most exciting parts, it is filled with Lakers. This is where basically the bar is set, and this is what other teams are trying to be. And as much as I dislike Larry Bird, he had a great line. And he said, man, unless you played for the Lakers or you played for the Celtics, you never played in the NBA. And that's the standard. And that's why games like tonight against the Denver Nuggets, when you get blown out on a Saturday night, is absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous, and it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable to the fans, and at the same time, it should be unacceptable to the players. And so it becomes very frustrating. These are guys, when we talk about money and you talk about exposure and everything that goes into it, it becomes extremely frustrating as far as where you're at. So overall, the Lakers have a lot of work to do. We're going to get into more as far as what the Lakers need to do to get better, get into why Denver dominated. We'll get into the person on the Nuggets that you don't ever want to see dominate and why it hurts as a Laker fan. But at the same time, things have to be done to be a little bit better. And at the same time, the Lakers can play better, and you should demand better. And that's where I'm at right now, because it's a long season and we're early on. But right now you get a little bit nervous and say, you know what, if this team's not playing better, then what can they possibly do to fix it? We're going to talk about all that stuff again, moving forward, to say, what can the Lakers possibly do to get better and to absolutely fix things on here. So again, we're talking Laker basketball. Looking forward to having conversations and listening to your input, what you think this Laker team needs to do, what's missing on this team, maybe who needs to go on this team. And again, that's what's next. Hey, I want to mention, of course, this nice sponsors are able to help this show out. And again, thank the people over at Chime, because when you look at Chime, don't forget, Chime is a chance for you to jump in right now and talk about your finances. We all worry about what's going on with our finances, and at the same time, You say, you know what, there's a new administration coming in and going, what's going to happen? At what point do you say it's time to save? At what point do you say, it's time to make an investment? Am I doing the right thing with my banking? Well, right now, again, when you talk about Chime and how they can help you out, Chime helps you make progress with free overdraft up to $200. Your next deposit is applied to your balance. Get spotted on debit card and purchases and cash withdrawals, no monthly fees or maintenance fees, over 50,000 fee-free ATMs. That's a huge plus. Don't forget, to date, Chime has spotted members over $30 billion. Friends get a boost, and at the same time, eligible members get complimentary boost, temporary increase of Friends Spot Me limit. Don't forget Chime. You need to check them out. This is how it works. Set up a direct deposit in your Chime account. After qualifying direct deposit, 200 plus, Chime will notify you to enroll in Spot Me. Don't forget Chime. It's a great opportunity for you. Make all your finances a little greener by working towards your financial goals with Chime. Open your account in just 2 minutes at chime.com/MBA. That's chime.com/MBA. So again, as we talk about the Lakers and what they're going from here, we're looking forward to what's going to happen as far as getting better and what we could possibly do. Don't claim to have all the answers, but again, I'm curious to know what the fan base thinks. I also want to thank the people over at Game Time. Don't forget Game Time. That's a chance for you to say, you know what, I have a hunch. This is when I think things possibly could be going my way. We've all had that experience where you're going, man, there's a lot of sporting events out there. Do I have a hunch? Did you watch the football games today? Did you watch UCLA, USC? Did you catch the upset of Oklahoma, Alabama? All over the place. This is where it gets exciting. Don't forget the Game Time app. Game Time has new features called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to your games to sit there and watch the games and go, hey, I can see these in person. Not only do I have an interest in the teams, but I can see the games in person. And of course, the Game Time app, there is a great chance for you to get the tickets of the games that you want to see. Picking up upcoming game on the app, browse through the seats at Game Time Picks, and again, talk about the deals you'll find. Again, Game Time is the place to go. Customize your spot, and it is extremely exciting. Don't forget the super deal starts. View yours today before you buy. Lowest price guaranteed. Events cancellation protection is right there. And also at the same time, Game Time is the place to go to get your tickets to make sure that you're able to see your favorite sports, concerts, comedy, theater, all in one pricing. Don't forget the views that you're going to get by seeing those games in person. Download the Game Time app today. Create an account. Use Locked On MLB for $20 your first purchase. Terms do apply. Again, create an account, redeem codes. Don't forget Locked On MLB for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. What time is it? It is Game Time. Right now, when you look at what's going on with the Lakers, I want to start with the Nuggets because, hey, to be the best, you got to beat the best, right? Isn't that what they say when it comes to fake wrestling and pro basketball? So why were the Nuggets so successful tonight? Again, the Nuggets outscored the Lakers. When the Lakers had a lead at the half, the Nuggets came out and they outscored the Lakers big time. Third quarter, 37-15. It was one of those quarters where you're like, it feels like it will never end. 37-15, the Nuggets outscored the Lakers. And then in the fourth quarter, the Lakers made it a little bit better, but again, it was a little bit embarrassing. Lakers outscored 33-24. Final score 127-102. When you're watching the game, you're saying, first quarter, we're playing with the Nuggets. This is a home game. There's still plenty of time. But the Lakers are outscored by 4. Lakers' best quarter of the whole night came in the second quarter, 36-26, and you're going, hey, they can win. Lakers are winning at halftime. They're figuring this out. This is not the same Nuggets team. And if you pay attention to other teams in the NBA outside of the Lakers, you realize that the Nuggets are one of those teams that they won a championship a few years ago, but there is something missing. Matter of fact, Jokic has called out his teammates, saying guys aren't playing up to their capabilities. You know, Jamal Murray seems to have his best games against the Lakers. At the same time, Michael Porter Jr., who's supposed to be the stud player, doesn't seem like he's been playing up to what all the expectations were for him coming out of college. Well, tonight, Michael Porter Jr. shows up with a triple-double, 24 points, 11 rebounds, 10 defensively. Not a triple-double. 11 rebounds, 24 points. Sorry about that. 10 defensive rebounds. That's unacceptable for the Lakers. Michael Porter Jr. is a great athlete, but at the same time, for him to sit there and get the rebounds like that off this Laker team that's supposed to take pride. So what does that show you? It shows that the Lakers on defense, they are one of the worst defensive teams in the league. It has been this way since J.J. Redick has been the head coach. So their bottom 5 defensively doesn't seem to make sense that the Lakers defensively are this poor. As fans, we always love entertainment. So we seem to wipe away the defensive part and say, just give us offense. We've had those defensive coaches in the past, and some Laker fans will tell you those are some of our worst years as far as excitement factors. But even Pat Riley with the Showtime Lakers in the 80s, he stressed defense. And people think all the time, the Magic Johnson fast breaks and finding James Worthy on the wing, that was exciting Laker basketball. And it was the part that made me fall in love with this team. But they played serious defense, and you can't win championships without defense in the NBA. And for defense is an effort deal. It's not like, hey, does Austin Reeves have his 3-point shot tonight? Defense doesn't go into a slump. Defense is about effort, being in the right place. It comes down to coaching and effort and will to win. And right now, the Lakers haven't shown that for the majority of the season. That's the disappointing part. So overall, this Laker team to get beat at home, 127-102, completely embarrassing. 70-39 in the second half. This team was outscored. Again, I'll say that number again. 70-39 in the second half. They were outscored. Is that giving fans their money's worth? Is that giving players, the opportunity to say, this is why we get paid the big money? This is why we wear Lakers on the front of our chest, because we're prideful? Absolutely not. Not a Laker fan out there is happy with that. Here's the one player on the Nuggets that frustrates me the most. I told you about Michael Porter Jr. He's a very good player, but to me, he's not upper echelon. Jokic is a whole nother story. We'll get into him in a second. But the fact that Russell Westbrook can come back to Los Angeles after all the stuff, when this team was definitely a worse team when Russell Westbrook was on the roster, and a guy that, hey, you might be a UCLA fan or just a fan of someone that says, I remember that kid when he went to high school and he played college ball here. And then he went to OKC and we saw him with the triple doubles and the MVP award. I think it was easy to root for Russell Westbrook from afar. But when he put the Laker uniform on, he became a guy that was a disappointment, a guy that disrupted the progress of the organization. So Russell Westbrook, not only does he come back to Los Angeles, well, he wants to show in front of the Los Angeles Laker fans that they made a mistake by not only not keeping him, but also not using him to what he thought was to his best ability. Russell Westbrook comes to town and has an outstanding game. 14 points, 11 assists, 7 rebounds, all in 24 minutes. 24 minutes. He gets 14 points, 11 assists, and 7 rebounds. Now, how does that happen? I mean, at some point, there has to be even just a pride factor of, you guys might kill us tonight, but it's not going to be Russell Westbrook that does it. As fans, we get frustrated by it. When Russell Westbrook is sitting there and he's shaking hands with Laker fans in the front row, when Russell Westbrook is dunking and screaming and he's doing a swim move and celebrating, he had every right to. Guess what? He earned it. But it's hard to watch. It's hard to watch your favorite team, especially at home, get beat like that, and to see a guy that was an enemy of the organization on your home court have a night like that. And it becomes very, very disappointing. If it makes you feel any better, DeAndre Jordan only played 5 minutes, had 2 points. That doesn't make me feel any better. So moving on to the Denver Nuggets and what makes them so good, it's the Joker, right? It's the Joker. The Joker is insane. And congratulations, just had a baby a couple days ago. Congratulations to his family. But, man, he did not miss a beat. Sat out a couple games, comes in 37 minutes. He has 34 points. He has 13 rebounds. 11 of them are defensive rebounds, and he had 8 assists. So he stayed away from the triple-double, even though he's been averaging a triple-double the entire season. The Joker he's a freak. And so you go, well, how good is the Joker? And a lot of people say he's a hell of a player. If you follow the NBA, you understand he's a whole nother level as far as just being a hell of a player. I mean, the guy not only averaged a triple-double, but he's doing it at such a high rate. He's averaging 30 points, 14 rebounds, and 11.5 assists a game. That's insane. Those are insane numbers right there for anybody ever. If you watched him in the summer and you watched Olympic basketball and you saw the success that the United States team had, when the Joker was playing, he basically was better than the entire United States team. He was better than every team, and he's that good. Now, what I'm going to say might sound a little controversial, but you tell me if I'm wrong on this one. if you picked your top 5, we all do it all the time, right? With our friends, we pick our top 5 and we say, who is, your guard? And you go Magic Johnson. And my other guard, I'm going to take Michael Jordan. And then I'm going to find Kobe Bryant, small forward. And then forget about, I don't need Tim Duncan power forward. I'm a Laker guy, so I'm going to find a spot for LeBron. And then the greatest center of all time, people always pick, depending what age you are, you'll pick a Kareem, you'll pick a Wilt Chamberlain, you'll pick a Shaquille O'Neal. We always fill it up with Lakers outside of like Michael Jordan. And you go, who's the greatest of all time? As much as it hurts me to say this, because I love Magic Johnson and Kobe Bryant was a killer. And I love Kobe because Kobe, you could bet to be sure that he gave you your money's worth every game. And LeBron James at 40 is doing things that I think we'll appreciate even more when he finally does retire, is incredible. I think you can make the argument the Joker is the greatest player in the history of the NBA. I'll let it sink in right there. And people go, what the hell's wrong with this guy for even saying that? Who would have guarded the Joker if any of those centers I just mentioned? Wilt Chamberlain, is he going to go out there? Is he able to guard the Joker? Is Shaquille O'Neal able to go out there and guard threes? Is Kareem able to go out there? No. And when you listen to how good he is and how talented he is, you sit there and you go, this guy's amazing. Maybe the best big man passer of all time. And we've seen some good ones. Laker fans have seen some good ones. Even Vlade Divac, who we used to goof on and said, I can't believe we got Kobe for Vlade. Vlade was a great passer. Guess what? Sabonis was a great passer. There were so many good big man passers out there, but I think Jokic might be the best one ever. I know he's the best three-point shooter from that size. You see him bring the ball up the court all the time. Guys who go against him will say he's the strongest guy in the NBA, saying he's absolutely insane how good he is. But it's one of those things where nobody will say it, and nobody ever puts him into their top 5 all time. The Joker, can you imagine saying the Joker is better than someone like Michael Jordan? People in Chicago would strangle you for saying that. But who in the history of the NBA has ever played the game like this, that could shoot like that could pass like that could physically dominate you like that, and he's won championships? So that puts him at a whole nother level. I'll never forget what Kevin Durant said when Kevin Durant made the comment saying, I wanted to see what the big deal was, so I wanted to guard him. And he goes, he was so strong, I couldn't do anything about it. And people go, well, of course it was Kevin Durant. Everyone knows Kevin Durant can barely bench 110 pounds. Still, he's extremely strong for everybody. How does he make Anthony Davis, who's our MVP candidate this year, look like that? Anthony Davis, who looks like he didn't even try tonight. Well, I don't think it was a fact that Anthony Davis didn't try or didn't give effort. I think what came down to it was Anthony Davis was basically pushed around and was outskilled by a guy like Jokic, who took time off. So as frustrating as that is, my frustration is the game just ended. Lakers just got embarrassed at home to the Denver Nuggets, a team that has owned them for the last few years. And at the same time, Jokic doesn't miss a beat. Until they can sit there and take care of the Joker, the Lakers are going to have a hard time with the Nuggets. Yet other teams have proven they can get by the Nuggets in the postseason. We saw it just a year ago. So it's a lot to think about what happens there. Hey, I also want to thank, don't forget, I want to thank the people over at Robinhood. Robinhood, again, are the people that can help you out when it comes to your financial situation. We talk about it all the time as far as, when are you going to get serious about money? Maybe your time to get serious about the money is by contacting the people over at Robinhood. Robinhood, again, is there for you to sit there and answer your questions. And again, a great deal. Don't forget the people at Robinhood right now, they allow others to get the best rates, just like it's not about the top 1% in the country anymore. They'll give you the same perks reserved for the high society. Now the resourceful individual with the Robinhood Gold can earn a very liberal rate of 4.255%. Don't forget, Robinhood is the way to go. They provide the privileges of the high net worth at any net worth. These generous benefits now available for only $5 a month. New gold standard is here. Robinhood Gold. Sign up at robinhood.com/gold. Don't forget the new standard. It's right there. It's Robinhood Gold. Sign up at robinhood.com/gold. So that being said, when we talk about what's going on with Jokic and what's going on with the Nuggets and what's going on with your Lakers, what changes do you want to see? What can this Laker team, this organization possibly do? Are you one of those guys that likes to say, hey, if I was Rob Pelinka, this is what I would do? I'll be one of these guys that will tell you right now, I like the hiring of J.J. Redick, okay? I liked when they brought in J.J. Redick as their coach. That being said, as we head towards Thanksgiving, what grade do you give him? What do you think of JJ Redick so far? What's missing? He loaded his staff up with former head coaches to help him kind of hold his hand through the process of becoming a head coach, looking for that identity of this Laker team. What is this Laker team's identity? We knew what Pat Riley's was. We also just found out Pat Riley's getting a statue out in front. Pretty good reminder. Pat was great. Phil Jackson, what can he say? I mean, how many championships can Phil Jackson win in 2 different cities and go down as one of the greatest of all time? There have been a bunch of great Laker coaches. We've also seen some poor coaches that have gone through the past. If you want to, have a couple minutes to spend, look up just Laker past coaches. You go like, man, I forgot Randy Fund was here. Del Harris couldn't win with Kobe and couldn't win with Shaq. Yet you get certain coaches that come in and they find their identity, and the fan base falls in love with them. The players believe in them. JJ Redick was a person that I was saying, I kind of like that fresh start of somebody that understands the game of basketball, played basketball at a high level at Duke for a Hall of Fame coach, also had the respect of LeBron James. And I think LeBron James at his age, who a lot of people say LeBron James is a coach killer, or that LeBron James is a guy that coaches the team as a player, that's fine. JJ Redick seemed like a breath of fresh air. I'm one of those guys that's still a JJ Redick fan. At the same time, I'm curious to know, what does JJ Redick feel about slip games? Because when you're in a situation like the Lakers were tonight, this is one of those games you go, this was a slip game. This is the 3rd time it's happened to this team in the young season, and it's happened in back-to-back nights at home. It can't happen at home. It's bad enough when it happens in Detroit, but when it happens at home on a Saturday night when you're in Los Angeles and you can do so many things with your entertainment dollar, it becomes very frustrating. Think about what you could have done with your entertainment dollar this weekend. You could have gone to the UCLA USC game. You could have gone to the Rams game, Sunday Night Football against the Eagles. You could have gone to the Monday Night Football game, Chargers taking on the Ravens. So many things to do with your entertainment dollar, yet you chose to spend it at crypto watching the Lakers take on the Denver Nuggets, and you didn't get your money's worth. And this is where it becomes frustrating as Laker fans. So JJ Redick, even though it's early in the season, do you like the hire still? Is he the issue? What is the issue why this team isn't winning? For me, the issue is, and I thought it was going really well, and then they suffered a loss at no fault to this player's game, but I didn't like the change of the lineup. I loved when they moved Dalton Connect to the starting lineup. I didn't understand why they decided to say, we need another spark off the bench. That's what D'Angelo Russell was supposed to do. He was supposed to be maybe a spark off the bench. Dalton Connect is a punch you in the face kind of guy, a guy that you need on the floor to start the game. Austin Reeves, man, is a fun player to watch. Dalton Connect is electric. He is the steal of the NBA draft. I happen to be, just a little bit of a background, happen to be a big SEC fan. I'm not a Tennessee fan, but I watch a lot of SEC basketball, and I saw him at the University of Tennessee a lot last year. Saw him win Player of the Year. And when the Lakers got him, and I was like, wow, they stole it. I mean, how many times did the Lakers get a chance to say, this is a draft pick we're really excited about, and he's here to stay? Not a guy where you put one toe in the water and see how good this guy's going to be. He needs an opportunity. Well, he took advantage of his opportunities, and he earned the respect of veterans and future Hall of Famers in LeBron James and Anthony Davis. And he's the talk of the NBA in national circles. So what do? You stifle him tonight. You put him back on the bench. Why would you put him back on the bench? Is it too much firepower out there? I mean, I'm not saying Rui is the one that you need to sit down. He came back after missing 5 games with 10 points in 22 minutes. But Cam Reddish is just a guy at this point in the league. And that's what's frustrating. I understand he's a veteran, but Cam Reddish is a guy that should not be starting for this team. And that's where the Lakers have to make moves. It's not about anymore that you have your designated point guard and your off guard and your small forward, your power forward, your center. That's not how it works. It's 5 guys, and you have those weapons at the beginning. And that's exactly what it seems like for LeBron James that he's looking for. These are the kind of things he needs. He needs the fast starts. If the Lakers can get off to quick starts and they can set the momentum of the way a game is going to go, then that gives LeBron James a chance to rest towards the end of the game, meaning you don't need to play him in the fourth quarter when you're blowing teams out. You take care of business. You control what goes on. You control the pace of the game, and that's what the Lakers need to do, and that's what they used to do. You guys all remember the days, if you're like me, when Magic played even, and Magic did his job, got the big ovation. Here comes Wes Matthews. That's the way it works, right? That's the way it works. And that's the way it works in baseball, and that's the way it works in basketball. You do your job early, you get a chance to come out of the game. And for LeBron, at 40 years old, how much are we going to try and get out of him? Why do we have to keep depending on the king to sit there and take us through the 48th minute? He should not be on the floor at the end of games. Dalton Connect, in my opinion, way too big of a weapon for the Lakers to start him on the bench and say, we're going to use him as a spark. Use someone else as a spark. Make a trade. Use someone else as a spark. Dalton Connect is just getting his legs. He's a guy that should be on the floor to start the game and then, again, be a major part of playing with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. You could see these guys want him on the floor, and they look for him, and he's able to cut to the basket. He's able to knock down the threes. He's been a huge highlight. Anyway, I'll leave it at that for you. Again, I appreciate you joining in on a Saturday night. Lakers disappointing loss tonight at home, 127-102, outscored 70-39 in the second half. Good things to come for the Lakers. What's next for the Lakers? It's going to be in Phoenix. In Phoenix, again, it's a cup game for the Lakers. Lakers play very well in this format. Maybe it's the floor. Maybe it's the idea of getting a banner. Doesn't matter. Win's a win, and if this is what it takes for the Lakers to put wins together, that's fine. But a big game against the Phoenix Suns on the road, as the Lakers will have 6 of their next 7 games on the road. They need to show that they can actually play and compete, because we know postseason basketball, this team has to win on the road as well as win at home. But I want to thank everybody again for following the Lakers, the Locked On Lakers podcast. Again, this is the Locked On Lakers postcast, and we'll be with you the rest of the year talking Laker basketball. But appreciate your time, and I hope you stay with me throughout the remainder of the year as the Lakers make a run for championship number 18. Again, my name is Dave Palais. You can follow me on all social media platforms. If you have any Laker comments, Laker suggestions, I'd love to see them on the X. So that'd be absolutely fantastic. So have a good night, everybody, and go Lakers.